and welcome to another live AHA, Ask Heather Anything. I'm your host, Debbie, with Help for IBS, coming to you live from Lars, Scotland. Also, live from Washington State, we have Heather, who's the creator of Heather's Tummy Care and author of Eating for IBS, as well as the First Year IBS. Hi, Heather, how are you doing tonight?
Hi. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. I'm excited. Today in our discussion, we're going to talk about what to do before bedtime. It happened to be one of our top two. We had two intense posts on our private Facebook group. So we wanted to go ahead and bring you in and hear your words of wisdom on this. So please, if you are listening, go ahead. This is your opportunity to ask Heather in the comments below anything about your biggest frustration dealing with IBS in regards to the night before and waking up in the morning. So let's get started. Heather, what can I do before I go to bed to limit symptoms during the night and especially in the morning when I have an important event?
Yeah, mornings tend to be the worst times for people with IBS. That's really common. It can be day in, day out, or especially when there's something big going on the morning of or the day of and you're worried about it, stressed out about it. It helps a lot to realize this in the first place and then to prepare as much as you can in advance. It's always easier to stay stable than it is to get stable, so you want to keep your gut calm in the first place. So start the night before. Start with dinner. You know, if you can eat at home instead of eating out that night, you'll have more control. Plan a particularly safe meal, low fat, no triggers, high soluble fiber. Have a nice meal, have a light meal. Have whatever your favorite tummy tea is after dinner. Have your peppermint, have your fennel. Be a little bit gently active, move around the house a bit. Don't just go sit on the couch for hours on end. When you move around, your GI tract moves as well. It's muscle, so that will keep things going smoothly. You might plan to have a little more of a light soluble fiber snack later in the night so your gut doesn't get too empty. Make sure you go to bed on time. I would lay everything out the night before that you need for the morning of so that you have as little to do as possible. Try to do what you can so you're not going to be rushed or looking for something. If you can make a breakfast the night before that's ready to go, that can help. Get your tea ready for first thing the next morning. That can help. If you use the Tummy Tamer's peppermint oil capsules, make sure you take one last thing at night before bed when your stomach is empty, wait after that snack. Have that to head off morning problems. You're trying to do everything you can to make sure you get through the night stable in the first place, and then you have as little to worry about or to rush through the next morning. That will help a lot more than trying to struggle through the morning unprepared and being worried and stressed about it.
Heather, what about taking tummy tamers before you go to bed?
Yep, that is definitely something to call out. I do that myself. The tummy tamers are the peppermint oil capsules, if people aren't used to those. They're very strong. They're a very good preventative for heading off IBS pain, spasms, cramps, urgency, bloating and gas as well. You have to take them before symptoms hit. They are preventative. So one of the best ways to prevent things from getting you hit in the night or first thing in the morning is to take a peppermint oil tummy tamer before you go to bed. You could also take one, again, first thing in the morning when you wake up. That can be very helpful as well. But do what you can the night before. And if you need to take them day in, day out, or night in, night out, that's okay. You can take one every night before you go to bed, and that will just habitually keep your gut calm overnight. That's not a bad idea for a lot of people at all.
So basically, just like having the soluble fiber into your body on a consistent basis, having the tummy tamers in there on a consistent basis is also a good thing.
Anything that you do that helps you, you want to do consistently. So yes, if you are using tummy tamers, they're helping you, you want to keep using them. If you are using fennel tea for bloating and gas and that is helping you, keep using it. You want to keep the helpful things in your gut 24/7, whether that is soluble fiber, whether that's your tummy teas. You want to just try to keep things calm and stable day in, day out. It's much easier to do that than to try to constantly be getting your gut back on track after some kind of violent upheaval. So yes, do what works and keep doing it consistently day in, day out.
Wonderful. Hi, Carol. We see that you just tuned in. If you have any questions about preparing the night before or the morning of, definitely this is your window to ask Heather live, and she'll be able to answer that for you. So in your
Yeah.
book, Eating for IBS, you talk about the breakfast, all the different eating for the IBS. Is there any specific chapter, like if somebody has this book that they would go to go, okay, let me make sure I do this?
Sure. There's actually a whole chapter of breakfast recipes, but at
Nice.
the beginning of that chapter, there's a very helpful list of fast and easy ideas for breakfast. So you don't have to get up and cook yourself a meal from scratch. That's not
I love
practical
it.
for most people every day. But there's a lot of things that are fast and easy that you can do that would be good, safe breakfast for IBS. Rice cereals of any kind are going to be really helpful. You can get cream of rice or Rice Krispies or Rice Chex. Corn cereals like Corn Chex can be just fine as well. Instant oatmeal as opposed to steel cut is going to be easier on IBS because the insoluble fiber in the oat bran, the entire oat groat, is actually broken down. It's steamed, it's chopped, it's pressed. So instant oatmeal can be a good choice. Bananas are a good choice. Buy them on their own or add to the cereal. Make sure you're getting something like your strong peppermint tummy tea, fennel tummy tea. You want something that's going to actively keep your gut calm with that meal. It's a good time of day to take a dose of your tummy fiber, your soluble fiber supplement. Add that right into your breakfast if you wish. It's a dry powder, that's fine. You don't have to have a separate drink. Have a small breakfast portion. You don't want a great big meal. You don't want to have to rush your way through it. Smoothies can be another good option as well. Throw in fresh fruit that you have. Use bananas for your soluble fiber foundation. Use a non-dairy milk. You can also throw your tummy fiber in the smoothie as well. If you bake, and you like to bake, I love to bake, things like the safe quick bread recipes are really good for breakfast. So banana bread, zucchini bread, pumpkin bread, applesauce cake, those can always be something you can grab on the go. You can just have those ready. That's a really nice, fast and easy recipe that can be portable and something good to take for breakfast if you're running out the door. Let's see. You could actually just have a bowl of white rice if you have leftover white rice in the fridge. Use that as a kind of cereal. You can heat it up for a hot cereal. Add a little maple syrup, non-dairy milk, a little banana. So just think of safe, easy, soluble fiber foundations. And there's a lot of good choices for breakfast that aren't not elaborate or complicated at all.
Beautiful. So definitely, if you do not have Eating for IBS at your fingertips, I can't even more than recommend this. This is just a wealth of information based, again, on Heather's 40 years experience on how to maintain IBS. And we have a live question here, Heather, from, I see Linda. Hi, Linda. Yes, Heather is our angel, and she's just saying she appreciates all that you do for the IBS community. So hi there, Linda. Carol has a question here. She says, she works out in the morning. Sometimes an attack on the way to the gym. What should I wait until after the workout to eat? So that's what her specific question is.
Ooh, that can go both ways. I would at least get some type of really strong tea in your stomach. Get your peppermint tummy tea, your fennel tummy tea. Get something that's going to actively calm your gut as soon as you get up. You might just want to have a dose of the tummy fiber and not food. It's still a good idea. You want to get some kind of soluble fiber in your gut first thing in the morning because it's going to help prevent that attack. It's not going to trigger it. You may not want to have like solid foods in your breakfast until after you work out. That might be a better fit for you, but I would at least try to get the calming kind of soothing, relaxing teas and some kind of soluble fiber in your gut. And then maybe take a little something light with you to the gym, so as soon as you're done working out, you can have a more proper breakfast and get more soluble fiber in your gut.
Beautiful.
That should help.
That you're actually answering Cindy's question is it okay to take a dose of soluble fiber before you eat in the morning? And I know I can chime in. For me, that's one of the first things that I do is actually start getting that into my gut. So, and you just answered that for her, Heather, with your explanation.
And that's a very helpful way for a lot of people to use it. So use your soluble fiber, use your tummy fiber. If people don't know what that is, it's the soluble fiber supplement, the tummy fiber. Soluble fiber is what's going to regulate motility and keep your gut calm. So you want to keep that in your gut 24/7. So use it if you've gone too long without eating. Use that if you feel like your stomach is getting too empty. Use it before you have a meal to keep your gut calm in the face of the stimuli from that meal. Mix it right into foods if you want. It's going to work to regulate motility regardless of how or when you take it, but it can be most helpful for a lot of people to take it right before you eat or if you're missing a meal. That's a really good way to use it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So, Heather, we have another question here. And Carolyn, she is asking, let me see here. I lost it. I just tuned in. Oh, this one is asked all the time. And since we're talking about fiber and avoiding attacks, I'm just tuned in. Won't the fiber cause constipation? Now, why you explained, as you've done it a million times, Heather, on why it doesn't. I'm going to show you an example of our sale that we're having right now, which is 20% off the travel packs, the travel boxes right here. But I'm going to show you how easy it is to get fiber into the system. And Heather, explain to us the importance of having that soluble fiber into our system.
Yeah, it is important whether you have IBS or not. It's really important that you have fiber in your system. Two kinds of fiber, soluble fiber and insoluble. Insoluble fiber is what most people think of when they think of fiber. It's the roughage, it's the leafy greens, the bran. That's your not traditional kind of fiber, but stereotypical kind of fiber. There's another kind of fiber. It's soluble fiber. That literally means it dissolves in water. That is found in foods like potatoes and bananas, things that most people don't think of fiber foods at all. That's soluble fiber. So soluble fiber is not a GI stimulant like insoluble fiber. That is just a straight across GI stimulant, and for some people, a GI irritant as well, particularly with IBS. Soluble fiber is a regulator. When it's physically present in your gut, it will regulate motility of your bowel from either extreme, too hard, too fast, leading to diarrhea, too slow, too irregular, leading to constipation. It also regulates water content in the bowel. So it has two different actions by which it will help regulate motility. And that in turn really helps prevent and stabilize all of the IBS symptoms across the board. So if you can regulate your bowel motility and get it into normal, stable, rhythmic contractions, and you can regulate the water content in your bowel, you will resolve both diarrhea and constipation. And soluble fiber is the only kind of fiber that will do that. Insoluble fiber will not, but soluble fiber resolves from either extremes. Whether you have IBS or not, that's how it's going to function in your gut. So it cannot cause constipation, it cannot worsen constipation, it can't turn diarrhea to constipation, or vice versa. It just won't necessarily work for you until you get enough of it physically present in your gut 24/7. So it's not going to help dramatically when you first start using it, but it will resolve motility issues if you can gradually get your gut up to what you need to keep your motility stable. So it's a process until you get there, and then you keep using it day in, day out. Keep it in your gut so that you keep your motility stable. That's your goal with IBS. You want to be stable.
You want to be stable and you want to listen to your body, and as it states in the directions, start low and slow. And also, if you already know that you're the type of person that responds extremely quick to things, whatever we recommend, you can even cut it in half. It's just a recommendation. The slowest you want to start is absolutely fine. I just put half a pack of our travel pack into this water. It's already dissolved, and just boom, while Heather was chatting, I'm already about to, this is my portion of the day when I actually do get some more soluble fiber into my system. It's just automatic. I do it in the morning, I do it at night. I'm building myself up to where I need to be, so it's just, I'm like on point with it, but to soluble fiber.
Yep, and that's a very good point. You always start at a low dose with any kind of fiber that you're going to take across the board. Fiber is indigestible, so you never want to suddenly drastically increase your fiber intake. Your gut won't like it. You start at a low dose. You want to use it twice a day, so it's in your gut 24/7, and you gradually increase. So most people start with, a gram or so twice a day. You're going to gradually work that up. You may end up 20 to 30 grams a day for constipation. You may end up 10 to 15 grams a day for diarrhea. You might end up higher or lower, somewhere in the middle. Everybody is going to reach the point where their gut has enough soluble fiber in it for normal motility, and that's where you would stay. So imagine that range. You're going to start with a gram in the morning, a gram in the night, you might work up to 10 grams, 20 grams, 30 grams. That shows you what a broad range there is from the starting dose to where you will likely end up. So, don't give up on soluble fiber because you've taken it once or twice and nothing happened, or you got diarrhea. You would have gotten diarrhea anyways. Soluble fiber is not going to do that to you. It's not going to suddenly cause diarrhea or constipation. But it's also not going to work for you if you're on a quarter gram a day, twice a day, and you just stay there.
Exactly.
It's just not going to work that way. Everybody has to gradually increase. No matter how sensitive your gut is, you're not going to resolve motility with 2 grams of soluble fiber a day. That would be fabulous, but it can't hurt you. But it's really not going to regulate symptoms at that kind of a low dose either. So keep slowly, gradually increasing.
Absolutely. And the beautiful thing is, yes, we do have the travel boxes on sale right now for 20% off for a limited time, so it's a great time to stock up. These are great just to always have you with you. Heather has stated it over and over again, keeping it in your system is that consistency thing. And on the other style of the product, where it's just beautiful, where you can control with the teaspoon, so maybe bring out a teaspoon or a fourth, an eighth, keep it by your bundle, so at home when you're doing it, you can see exactly how much you're putting into your glass of water. So convenient.
Yeah, do what works for you.
Wonderful. Let's see if there's any more questions in here. Because this is the window, everyone. This is your window to have a moment with Heather. So let's see, do you drink tea plain? Oh, Carolyn. Okay, question is, it has to do with tea, but we're focused right now on doing things that will help you when you go to bed at night and early in the morning. So if you're having tea at night, would you recommend it to be plain or adding stuff to it? And if you were to add stuff, I guess the question is, what would that stuff be to help you have a great evening and good morning?
Well, I'm not sure what all you could add to it, except maybe your soluble fiber. If you wanted your last night dose, you could have that in tea. I would dissolve it first. But normally, you're fine with just your straight peppermint tea, fennel tea. Chamomile can be actually a good option before you go to bed. For some people, it kind of has some sedative properties, so it might help you sleep a little. You could add a little sweetener to it if you want. You certainly don't have to, but if you like to use a little plain sugar or honey, you could. Don't use artificial sweeteners. But other than that, just your plain old peppermint tummy tea, fennel tummy tea, some kind of chamomile will really help you get through the night.
Beautiful. And Lynn just wants clarification on what is gradual as far as time to increase it. So she's listening to the low and slow, take your time, but where's that window of when you should be starting to add a little bit more?
Sure. Yeah, so there's a pretty good timeline that's going to apply to just about everybody. You would normally start with, if it's the tummy fiber, half a teaspoon, or that's the equivalent of half a travel packet twice a day. And every 3 or 4 days, you are going to increase one of those doses by an extra half a teaspoon or half a packet. So just follow that increase. Every 3 or 4 days, you increase your morning dose or your evening dose. So you're staggering increase, and you just keep following that pattern. So you will work your way up from a half a teaspoon twice a day to maybe a couple teaspoons twice a day to maybe a couple tablespoons twice a day, depending on your symptoms. But extra half a teaspoon to one dose every 3 to 4 days.
Beautiful.
And that's a very low and slow gradual increase that is tailored to people with IBS. So that is meant specifically for sensitive guts.
Beautiful. So it's basically, if you're new to learning how to figure out how to live with IBS and to avoid those triggers, as well as our seasoned IBSers, keeping a nice healthy gut consistently. Great time right now to stock up on our travel packs, which are 2 boxes, 20% off. It is a limited time. The link is below, so definitely go ahead and click on that to take advantage of that right here. But we're gonna go ahead and sign off. Thank you for your questions live. Heather, I know your time is valuable. Thank you for taking time to answer these specific questions today.
Oh, thank you very much.
You got it. All right, till next time.